Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's the C# programmer Zambia, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at for loops. Okay, so before we go ahead, just make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification icon in order for you to receive instant notifications on my uploads. So in order for us to understand for loops very well, we firstly need to understand how for loops work. So let me just display something. Okay, yeah, there. So the syntax of the for loop is right here, and I guess you can see that. So it says for init condition increment curly brackets there to open and close our block, and we have our statements. So let's get the explanation here. So it's easy to understand if you just follow very well. The init is used to initialize the value to be used throughout the for loop. Okay, so you're going to see it in the example that I'm going to give you when you start coding. Then the condition acts as the basis of whether the loop should run, stop, and continue. Okay, so we are simply giving the for loop a condition, okay, that is going to follow in order for it to continue running, and in order for it to stop, and also in order for it to start. So if the condition is not true at the beginning, the for loop will not run. If the condition is true, instead, the condition is going to run, and it will only stop when the condition becomes false. Okay, so that's why we're saying the condition acts as the basis of whether the loop should run, stop, and continue. Then when we look at our increment part here, our increment changes the value of the variable so that it draws closer to the condition being false. Okay, so we don't want to create a loop that will continue executing the statements forever. We want the loop to stop at a certain point. So we need to create an increment for the variable, the control variable that we're going to initialize here, in order for it to be increasing or decreasing, okay, so that the condition can become false at a certain point. Okay, then our statement, the statements part here, is simply what the loop should do when it runs. So note that these can also be some other for loops, so you can we actually call them nested for loops. Okay, so just take note of that. We're going to be looking at nested for loops in the next video. So let's let's code something here, but before that I want to just finish up with the explanation of the for loop. Okay, so here I guess you can see the steps that the for loop takes. Okay, so let me just bring this back so that we can be clear with one thing, or let me just get the syntax from here. All right, and we simply include it inside there. Okay, so yeah, it's something like that. Let's just do that. We do that, and we also do this. Okay, so I guess you can see clearly here. Now, the init step is executed first. Okay, so firstly, let's actually just, create a real for loop, not one that's in the comments. Okay, so let's say for we initialize, we're going to have our value x is equal to 10. Is equal to 0, and from there we can simply say x is less than. So I guess you can see this is our init part. Okay, then we have our condition there, so x should be less than 10 for now, and we can say x plus plus. So we want x to be increasing every time by 1. And we have our curly brackets. Just drop this and some line. Okay, then what do we want our program to do? So we want our program to give us an output of the value of x each time. So we're simply going to say cout x, and yeah, we can do that. Okay, so let's run our program. F9. Okay, so our program should run, compiling. Okay, so there it goes. So I guess you can see what exactly has been outputted here. So I can use this to explain this part. So here I guess you can see the init step is executed first and does not repeat. Okay, so the for loop simply gets the value of x and doesn't repeat getting the value of x, because it knows to say, okay, for now x at the beginning x is 0. Okay, now when x is 0, it will not keep on when the loop repeats, it will not keep on saying x is 0 because we have our increment here. Okay, so that's why it doesn't repeat. Then the next thing it does is that it checks the condition. Okay, so the condition is evaluated. Now the condition being evaluated simply means that it checks whether the condition is true or false. So when our for loop here before running, our for loop simply got the value of x first. So it was like, oh, okay, I now know x is equal to 0. Then the condition here was comparing, is x less than 10? Okay, so it was less than 10, and there it went ahead and ran. Okay, so it ran this part of our program, cout x. Okay, so it outputted x, which is 0 right now. Then thereafter it increased the value of x, and the value of x became 1. Okay, and then after the value of x became 1, it checked, is 1 less than 10? Yes, it's less than 10, so output x, and it outputted our 1 there. Next thing, it checked if the value the value of x was increased. Then it checked, is the increased value still less than 10? Yes, it's less than 10. Then output that increased value, which is now 2. Okay, so it did that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 until x increased to 10. Okay, so when x increased to 10, it asked again here to say, is 10 less than 10, which is not true, and it ceased to run. So I guess you have really seen how our for loop works. Okay, so it will only run, just like the other loops, it will only run when the condition is true. Okay, so that's exactly how our for loop works. Now let's demonstrate this in a more fun way. Let's say our x, we want to create a program which says hacking NASA from 1% to 100%, actually from 0%. So we want to say x is less than or equal to 100. Okay, so that even the 100 should be included. And here we are simply going to say put some inverted commas there, and remember we need that there, and then here we're going to simply say hacking NASA, and we can just have something like that. Okay, and after this we can have our percentage symbol. So let's just do something like this. Great, like that. Okay, so now let's run our program and check out what happens. So F9. Okay, so I guess you can see what happens. It starts from 0 and goes all the way down to 100. Okay, so create this program and hack NASA. Okay, so if you have any questions about the for loop, remember to just drop your questions in the comment section below, And in the next video, we're going to be looking at nested for loops. So we're going to have a loop inside a loop inside a loop inside a loop inside a loop for as long as we want. Sorry about that. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.